Hello Desert Bearhawk fans, we're in the shop. Just a quick progress report for those that are interested. Right hand flap is coming along. You can see the left hand flaps there, so I'm not recycling the video here. Right hand flap's coming along. I really had a hard time with this nose skin. So the guys are out there building the airplane, scratch building. When you come to this step, just be prepared to be extremely frustrated. And the reason for that is, if I can, let me pull a chair here so I can get down and get a steady angle. The reason for that is that you have multiple angles. You have this, so you have the distance between here and the end of the skin, which is not a big deal because that's an open bend. There's nothing confining it on the other side. But the bend between here and here, that area is fixed. And if it's too narrow or too big, it's going to end up affecting the way the skin lays on here. So it has to be just right. That's why I say make a bunch of test bends. Understand your brake. Know which way the radiuses go, the setbacks, all that. Just make test bends. So, and then of course between here, and you can't see it, but down there, that's another hard angle, or hard distance rather. So not only does this distance here and here have to be the same, but between here and here have to also, not the same, but be right, and it has to be right between here and here. I think, and you can see I went in here and I just polished these corners off a little bit. I think that I got the distance on the leading edge. I think I got it, and I mean just a skosh tight, maybe a 64th. It does not take much. But anyways, this thing fought me for hours today to get that nose skin on there. But I got it, and it's smooth and it's straight, and I'm happy. But it was a workout. Now you can see up here I have the number 30s, the Coleco's in. Down below I still have the number 40s holding it. I just haven't, when I flip the skin over to work on the bottom flange and put the gussets and a center brace in, I will drill these out too. The only reason I have them in there is I wanted to get as many holes drilled as I could while I had this flap locked down to the bench. You can see I've got a block here that the ribs go up against. I ran a string line all the way to the other end where there is another block, and then on that string line I put multiple other blocks, so this way I can make sure that the trailing edge is going to be perfectly straight, not bowed in or out. And then you can see that I have the door shims with the brad nails holding these ribs flat to the table so they can't move. Over here I've got a ledger board that's exactly 90 degrees to the span of the flap, so this rib sits perfectly 90. And then finally what I did is I got these, let's see if you can get a better angle, got these blocks of wood in here, 2 screws, and they tie into the flange, and they lock this flap right down to the table flat. So this thing is locked down on this table. You can see I got another one under there, and then down at the far end down here, we didn't have another full-length board, so I used some blocks here and here to kind of set this 90. Lock this thing down, and once I got it locked down, then I could start drilling this flap. I drilled the leading edge here, and then each hole, I did the whole row of these first holes. And then once all the way down, then I started on the second. I just kept rolling this flap edge, or rolling this leading edge rather, right around the flap, and got it locked down. And now you can see it's on there. There's no pillowing. It's pretty wrinkle free. Got a couple of little minor blemishes that really stand out because it's a polished piece right now. But once the primer goes on it and takes the shine off of it, they won't stick out. They won't hurt the thing, but if you're looking for defects, which I'm doing constantly, it kind of catches your eye. It's no big deal. So I got the center support on the top done. I got gusset on the root side done. I still have to bob stick this hole and put a flange on it. But I've just run out of steam. It's been so hot in the garage. And tomorrow all I have to do is drill this dude out, put it on, fit it into position, and fill in the gap here from there to the end with calicos, and I'll have this top of this all drilled. I gotta show you this neat tool I got too. Some of you sheet metal guys will know what it is, but it's called a rivet fan. And what it does is, here, see if I can pull it open here. Yep. So see, now you can see it's open. So what you want to do is, if you want to put, let's say you want to put 8 rivets between this point and this point. Well, you just calico in the first hole there, count over 8 holes, and then expand it or contract it until it fits that distance, and you'll have 8 equal distant spaced holes, or 10, or whatever number you pick. They'll be equally spaced. So you're not going, okay, I got to put 8 holes and a 7/32 and 2/5 and calculate the orbit of Mars and throw in the relative. None of that crap. You just, you put 1 here, 1 there, stretch it out to 8, 7, 10, whatever you want, and mark your holes. So I was able to lay this stuff out much faster, all these holes out much, much faster tonight than I did on the first flap, because the first flap I was using the sextant and the Mayan calendar, and how many times a dog walks in a left-hand circle. It was crazy. So, but now it's hole, lay it out, I'm good to go. So they're a little expensive. I think I paid $39 for that, and it kind of, my wife kind of gave me the look like, yeah. But anyways, I tell you what, I pay $50, $60 for another one. If that one disappeared, I'd pay $60 for another, because they're just worth their weight in gold. So if you don't have one of those, you probably ought to invest in it if you're scratch building. And I already talked about this tool here, the little flanger tool. We talked about that last time. If you don't have one of these, you want one of those too. And what it does is it rolls down the lip of the material, puts just a little bevel in it, so when you calico it down, it just smashes down flat, and you got you can see there's no gaps, no pillowing, no nothing. It's perfectly flat. So that's where we are. Tomorrow I should be able to get the top of this flap, well, I will get the top of this flap completely done, and then I'm going to probably contemplate how I'm going to take it off this table and flip it over and lock it down with all these calicos sticking out. So I have to find a way to brace it up so these don't interfere with the table. But we'll figure that out as we go. I did it obviously on the last flap, but I wasn't 100% super excited with the way that went. So we're going to try a different way this time. Anyways, learning all the time. The nose skin was really tough, but we got it, and we're on our way. We should have another flap. Really, by the end of the week, we should have both flaps done. So till then, I'll see you in the shop.